So, honorable members of the clan, so let's go back to the Madanga Commission of Inquiry. But before we go to the Madanga Commission of Inquiry, I was feeling cold, y'all. Oh, it's freezing. And my neck, I was like, sorry, sir, hi, how did you forget us when you wore that beautiful YouTube sweater? It's a Christmas ugly jersey. But, anyways, we are not there. Let's talk about what transpired last night. Fellow South Africans, are we now flying with brooms? Yeah, when we go to bed, it's becoming a norm that we hear just when you're about to knock off that the police are making an arrest. Well, this time around, it was not necessarily the police or PKTT, but it was the Madanga Commission Recommendation Task Team. It was rounding up Dr. Mashazi, Linda Kasheka, Kemi Bahari, and Julius Mkwanazi. I was like, nah, I'll sit in the morning. I'm tired. My brain is fried. Things that are happening in South Africa, they are enough. Once your head hits the pillow, no raising it up again. And you hope that the urine will behave until the next morning. And it did with me, thank goodness. So, as expected, Dr. Mashazi and company, they appeared in the Germiston Magistrates Court where they are charged with fraud, corruption, and defeating the ends of justice. Why? Because Dr. Mashazi, Kemi Bihari, and Linda Kasheka all conspired to protect Julius Mkwanazi from going through a disciplinary process that was involving installing of blue lights in Kat Matlala's security or private security vehicles. Obviously, we have been hearing that testimony in the Madanga Commission of Inquiry where Kat Matlala's partner, business partner, Mike van Veek decided to split. And then he was crying about psychological this and psychological that. Please postpone me because I cannot. Oh my gosh. Why was I being naughty? Why did you bring me Cat Matlala? Because that's exactly what I would be asking when you are greedy. Now I'm looking at the people in the dog. Dr. Mashazi looks exactly what my mom used to warn me. If ever we were being naughty, or maybe she called you more than once. My mom was a person that called you once, and if she called you twice, get ready for a lecture about how disrespectful you are and how uyozisola useboshi. And every time when she said that, I always saw this face, not Dr. Mashazi, but me looking like this in a bush. Because I'll be regretting, why did I allow myself to be called twice by my lovely mother? This is the face that used to come through my head. And she's looking exactly like it. Wow. So, ukangelan ngomsebenzi. This is what happens when ukanga ngomsebenzi. Buhari himself looks shocked. Like, shocked. I mean, these people went to school. I don't think Dr. Julius Mkwanazi actually has an MBA because you cannot put it things, guys, on an MBA. You cannot put it things. No way. I know Guti English is not our mother tongue, but you advance to that stage of education and your past tense of put is putted. So I don't think he has that MBA. Metric, maybe. Anyways, there's also a question mark about his nationality. So the 30th of June 2026 came and gone, Julius Mkwanazi. Some people would have said, this is an opportunity, I'm out of here. Yeah, you will be a fugitive from the law, but hey, Bushiri is a fugitive, the Guptas are a fugitive, and goodness knows how many other people that are fugitives from the law in South Africa. We don't know. So basically, just to remind you a little bit, Julius Mkwanazi got these people to protect him from going through disciplinary commission for installing blue lights in Kat Matlala's private security company. And then two, Kasheka as well as Bahari, they got a regular raise of 600,000 Rand because they protected Julius Mkwanazi at the behest of Dr. Omajin Mashazi. So the mastermind here is Dr. Omajin Mashazi, in my opinion. All of these things, guys, are allegations because they just got arrested. The only thing they had to do today is show their faces and their names published. I'm sure we are going to start hearing their bail application. Already, Julius Mkwanazi is on bail of 30,000 Rand on an unrelated matter, but it's still a Kuruleni because he also got himself involved with the current City of Ekurhuleni manager, Mr. Lerutla, where they did some things that are a little bit shocking. Shocking. Criminal, yet shocking. But again, allegations, and now he's going to be facing this one. I don't think he is done with court cases and arrest of Julius Mkwanazi because we still have the Precious Jam case. Remember that one? We know there are people that have been arrested already. Julius Mkwanazi, he's next. He's definitely next. So this man, he has a lot on his plate. All because of money. You know, I learned from a young age that in order for you to attract money, you need to be content with what you have. And when you say thank you for the little that you have, I don't know. Some people say money is spiritual. Other people are saying money is this. The paper that you see, that's not money. That's a symbol of money that governments and politics have put a value on. Money is something else. Like wealth, some people say, I feel wealthy when I'm happy, when I'm with my family. Not because they got billions and billions of dollars in their bank accounts. No, it's a feeling. So if you have a positive feeling about money, then money comes to you. Ever heard people say, yo, money goes to where the money is? That's because the people with the money, they are content with what they have. Yes, they may be pursuing making more money, and that's why money keeps getting attracted to them, is because they have some level of containment. So same thing with you. That's just that little formula. Be happy with what you have. Now, when you are going to try and take shortcuts, we all know that shortcuts, whether metaphorically or literally, they often lead to disaster. You know a story back home of somebody that took a shortcut going somewhere and they met criminals. And what did those criminals do to them? Unalive them. When all they could have done is take the normal way to get to where they were going to. They would be alive today. So same thing when it comes to generating wealth, generating comfort. You need to go through the tough route. It may take time, but hey, at the end of the day, shouldn't you be doing it for the people that you are responsible for, that you brought on this earth without them asking to be born? I think that you owe them that much, in my opinion, anyways. So, Julius Mkwanazi, Mashazi, Klasheka, and Bahari, I did not check when they're appearing again, but I will put it on the screen to tell you when they will be coming back for bail application. I must say, looking at Dr. Mashazi, she's not looking good. I can imagine what's going through her head after taking a 3.5 million Rand jet to London, shopped till she dropped, and straight to Sun City after that. The dichotomy is just not dichotomy. And then you look at this, I just feel bad for the baby because she told us that she has a child here. And in my head, I'm thinking, but you are doing crappy things, jeopardizing that child's life and future. Because what sort of a future this child's going to have when you are up at the jail? When you have children, they are the first that you need to think about. Not you. Not you. Iwa uvuka nabo. Remember what I said earlier. Be grateful for the little that you have. One day, who knows, you might play the lotto and win 300 million rand and done. All the money you wanted in the world, now you have it. You just have to create the opportunity. That reminds me of Whitney Houston's song, One Moment in Time. You lay the plan, and then the chance come, and use that plan to your advantage. But no, we want to wear Louis Vuittons by fire by force. Lowas letele Louis Vuitton e Gucci ngiyamqalekisa. Our country is like this because of them. I know that's blaming people that were making honest living. Yeah, you're right. But I'm angry. And I have a right to rant and falsely accuse. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's greed at the end of the day. It's greed. And when you look at these people, you're just shaking your head. But this face right here, who's a solid Bosch? If you don't know what a Bosch is, try and get a Zulu person to try. And I'm talking a Zulu person who's going to translate to you what is a Bosch. This is the picture that come to mind. And always been in my mind, Ususe Bosch. And I always knew what my mom meant. That Oshong and like the stubborn kids, when they grow up, they all end up in jail. And if you look at a jail cell, right there by the corner, there's a toilet pan. Iboshi. You'll be sitting on it like how Dr. Mashazi looks and regret why you didn't listen. Yeah, Mother dearest, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wherever you are, I hope you have the biggest wings and flapping them around and say, see my kids right there? I raised them. And we appreciate that very much. All of us. Got to get. It's not about me. Now let's go to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Okay, I figured out what that Dr. Skuman was doing there. Dr. Skuman was called as an advisor when the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry puts together a final report on what can they add to correct most of all the rot that is happening in the South African police service. And it all boils down to when a person becomes a candidate of being a police, they don't go through processes that will not only protect them, but also the country, the people that they are going to be serving. When they swear to serve and to protect the people of South Africa, but what background do you have? Let's start there, because for all we know, you might have an axe to grind either with the police or with a rival group or with a community, and you want to utilize the police uniform to legally deal with those people. And secondly, what are your thoughts about money? That is why in an interview, tell us about yourself. It gives a lot about you, your ambitions, what you're willing to do and what you are not willing to do. Even though a lot of people, when you ask that question, you don't know yourself. You don't know your ambitions. You don't know your hobbies. You don't know your interests and personalities, your dreams, long-term, short-term. You don't know all those things, because that's exactly what you are being asked to share. So all these things. And so this gentleman, he is talking about declaration. When you declare interest, so that when you are now a police officer, and as you climb the ladder inside the police force or service, you still have to go through these processes of being vetted, investigated, life audits, lifestyle audit, lifestyle review, lifestyle investigations. All of these things, they are different at different levels and will give different outcomes about that one individual. But they don't do it. That is why today we have men and women in blue uniform, but they are criminals. They have no conscience whatsoever. They are criminals. Why? Because they know that there are no consequences that they have to face. And if they are caught, the worst thing that can happen to them is not getting arrested. For example, recently there are people that they will fill in the declaration form but lie on the declaration form. And so when they get caught, the worst case scenario for them is a disciplinary commission. That's it. And in the past 2 years, only one person was fired for lying on the declaration form. And this is the part where it drove me up the wall. But I understood what he was saying, though. He says instead of having criminal punitive measures on a police officer or a government official that lied on their declaration form, instead of charging them with a criminal offense, rather take them on a non-punitive measure, like seizing the property that was gotten through criminal proceedings or whatever the case might be, and then discipline them. And I'm like, but wait, if you have an unknown or unexplainable wealth, not health, shouldn't that be investigated? Because if you investigate it, it's going to lead to a criminal activity. Like they stole money from the coffers of the government, and then they went and built a mansion, or went and bought a Range Rover, or took a 3.5 million rand private jet trip to London. Isn't that the operative word is stealing from the cookie jar? So he says that it's going to take a long legal process where the state will still be paying out of its own resources that have been stolen by the same individual. I was like, yeah, I see what you mean. So he will be laughing on our faces like he steals from us, we arrest him, and he still goes to the same state that he violated to get him off the hook. Later on, millions upon millions of rands have been spent, and the court finds him not guilty. Or even guilty for that matter. But point is, he did not use a cent of his own money. So he has come to advise the Madlang Commission that one of their recommendations in order to curb criminality or criminal element in the South African police service is to create something like an SIU unit within, in fact, independent. That's what he said. Something that I always said as well, that there needs to be an independent body. And in fact, the police itself needs to be an independent body where the minister and the police commissioner, they do not know what the police are investigating. You know, like how the the Scorpions were. The president did not know who the Scorpions were investigating or about to arrest. The minister himself was in the dark. And that's what we want. That's exactly what we want. So he was recommending that the recommendations of the Madlang Commission is to have an independent body that is going to be mandated to do this very work. If you are a police candidate, before you go to the police academy, you first have to go through a rigorous background check. And annually, you also be subjected to the same. Just like with gun, I suppose you have to now and again renew your gun license. So same thing with police officers, members of parliament, members of the provincial legislature, and councillors, mayors, MMCs, MECs. I agree with that. Because this is exactly what we've been saying on this very channel. If you go back to 2020 to 2023, when I was starting to really talk about these sort of topics, you would hear me say those things. You will. I don't know. What are your thoughts, my beautiful clan members? You guys are honorable. Don't look like this. And if you are an honorable member of the clan, be an honorable member of the clan so that you don't look like this. If you are working for government, please don't look like this. This. Oh, it's all a bush. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.